All right, let's talk about finance options. Good morning and welcome to In the Car with Clint. Today I want to talk to you about your options when it comes to buying, leasing and financing. I probably should start this video saying that this is not financial advice. This is just me talking. I am not a financial advisor. I have no legal qualifications to give advice around financing and financing options. I'm only able to talk about my experiences and what I have done. Now, WaterPro Railways, Lawn Hub, Dirt Cart, Hectagon are all fast growth, cash sucking machines. So for me, I very rarely, if ever, pay upfront for a purchase and I never buy buildings, right? I don't own any buildings, and I have a lot of trucks. I've got a lot of vehicles, and all of them are on finance through various companies. Now, there's two schools of thoughts obviously around that. My accountant and his boss both like the school of thought of what did they say to me? There's two types of people in the world, Clint. There's people that borrow to buy things, and there's people that save to buy things. You, my friend, are a borrow to buy things. You need to become a save to buy things kind of guy. I'm not there yet, but maybe one day. So I finance everything, except small. Like I'm able to buy things now that, you know, the kind of $10,000-$15,000 assets will pay up front for, because it's not worth the bullshit. Like by the time you have the finance company's application fee and the commission to the broker, if you're using a broker, I do, that could be $1,000, and on a $15,000 item you're kind of wasting a lot of money. So sometimes it's nice to pull that out of your cash flow. I like to starve the cash flow sometimes because it makes us work harder. But the bigger stuff we finance. Now, I just look at it as we're renting the vehicles from the bank, and we never own them. I don't care. I don't have any like pride or joy connected to owning a fleet of vehicles outright, and, you know, being able to sit around at dinner parties and like, well, I own 12 trucks and they're all mine. Like, I look at them like a subscription model for, say, Xero or Canva. You pay your $12.95 a month, you pay your $1,000 a month, and you get the use of that vehicle, and that's it. Interest rates are so low at the moment, and have been since I've been trading, so I've been quite lucky. And the interest is fully tax deductible, so why would you take the cash out? So and it gives you cash to do stuff, and I've talked about this in another video. But if you've got cash, you've got options, and you want cash in the bank because it helps you sleep at night. So if you are looking to finance, I use a broker. They take care of it for me. They've got relationships with banks. They know how to structure this. It depends on where you're at. Like, it's nice to have someone that understands the system, and so Tim, who is our broker, he used to work for a bank. He understands the jargon. He understands the hang on a second, this is getting out of control. Yeah, he understands how they talk to each other. He understands how the application forms need to be filled out, and so he earns his commission. I don't have the time to mess around with, looking at different banks to try and find the cheapest loan option. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't have got as much through if it wasn't for them. So I would recommend using a broker if you can, a business broker. Find a good one. That's hard sometimes as well. You kind of have to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince. Tim is my prince. I think he'll like that. And once you've got your broker, they'll come back to you with your options, and then you can choose one. So we'll have lines of credit with the bank. I'll talk about that now. So once you get to a certain size, there's a pre-approved line of credit for vehicles that you can have. So I have, I don't know, $500,000, maybe more. I think it might be. It's around $500,000 total between Railways and WaterPro, which is effectively a pre-approved. It's like an overdraft almost. But so if I find a car, like the car I'm driving now, I found my car. I wanted to buy it. I knew that I had a pre-approved limit in place that would cover the car. So all I had to do was send an invoice through to Tim. Tim would get the the invoice through to the chosen bank. We've got pre-approved limits with a few banks, and then they would settle the finance within 24 hours. So that's a cool little facility to have in place if you are growing fast, because sometimes you'll need to buy stuff really quickly. If you're like me, I'll be like, and I'm not kidding, we're going to buy a flatbed crane truck in the next, I don't know, 2 months. I'll say 2 months. Matt would say a year, but so that'll be $250,000 maybe, 300. I don't know. I haven't even looked. I'm just looking at them as I'm driving past, and so we'll need money for that. Now, if that pre-approved limit was in place, we'd be fine. So even just thinking about it now, as I'm talking to you guys, I'll need to ring Tim and go, hey, can you go back to these two banks and just get our limit increased to make sure that we're covered off if I need to buy a $250,000 to $300,000 truck in the next whatever, and then it's all done. Because banks are funny. When you really need money, they won't give it to you, and when you no longer need money, all they want to do is give it to you, and it's obviously directly tied to their risk profile, because people that need money are less likely to be able to pay it back. People that don't need money, very likely to be able to pay it back. So the last thing I'll tell you, a funny story, right? And this is, for the sake of this video, you can read into this how you want, but I heard about a guy who bought a car with a credit card very early in the piece of their business, and they needed to buy a car, this young this young business partnership, and they couldn't get a loan, but they could get credit cards, because banks will give anyone a credit card, but they won't give you a loan that's like a third of the interest rate. So this young group of business owners went and bought this car with a credit card. I think they might have even had an FPOS machine, and they put the sale through the FPOS machine, and then used the money from the bank to buy the car, and then balance transferred the credit card debt across new credit cards every 6 months at zero interest until the credit card was able to be paid off in full, and bought a car interest free. I don't suggest that anyone do that, but that's the kind of can-do attitude that young business owners may implement into their day-to-day, because you need to get it done. So yeah, that's it. If you can buy stuff, buy stuff. If you can't, then you're gonna have to finance it, or you have to you have to wait and save. That's a rough idea of how we structure things. Moving forward, I believe that we will start to buy our buildings. Matt and I talked about it last night, and the idea is for us to start building some assets in the company. The people that there's a lot of people are very interested in me getting a stronger asset base. One of them is my accountant, and the other is the bank. The bank want the assets there because they can take them when and if you shit yourself and it all falls down. They can come and take your land, and it's just going to make it easier for us to have. It's almost like it's a necessary part of it, and obviously land goes up in value. I don't have as much ego or joy connected to owning land. I feel like I'd rather own a very powerful digital space than a physical space, but that's for another video. This has already been too long. D'Artagnan's gonna freak out. Anyway, I'll get Duffy to tag Tim's business somewhere in this, in case you are looking for brokerage. I don't know anyone else that I'd use, so they're your only option. I hope I get commission for this. Anyway, be kind to each other, and yeah, if you like the video, give it a like. Helps me reach more people. Hopefully help someone else that might need some help. If you didn't like it, don't tell anyone. Like, just move on. It's alright. Not everyone has to, no negativity. Anyway, like I said, be kind to each other, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm gonna go. I'm at work now. See ya.